Hello everybody and welcome to Alex Bites. I'm your host, Alex Lenar, and it's time for the match of Supreme Commander Forge Alliance Forever. I've got ourselves a 2v2 match on the map of the Requisite. We've got Knightley and Evan versus Pappynoob and wtfnoob. Now, today's cast, I tried a slightly different format. Instead of casting all by my lonesome, doing recording and uploading it, instead I decided to go ahead and do the cast live on stream. So if you see any comments from Twitch pop up or my subsequent replies, don't worry, you're not going crazy, that's normal. Or, you know, you might be going crazy, I don't know. I'm not a doctor, I'm just a guy. Anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and launch into the match. I'll see you on the other side. Alright everybody, and here we are in the match. Let's go ahead and play. Alright, so let's start off by introducing all of our players. Let's go ahead and start with what the game thinks is Team 1 with Knightley. Alright, Team 1 on the right side. Yuck, never mind. No, we'll obey it. Team 1 on the right. Here we are, Knightley. Our purple Aeon player, ranked 1500 from Clan Ba. Whatever that is. He's going first land. Up here on the other slot there, we've got Evan _ in Clan E, a 1600 ranked Aeon player. Eventually I'll figure out what order I like to say all that stuff in, but you know, for now, it's just kind of whatever I feel like. Oh yeah, wait, he's going first land, right? Yep. Let's see. wtfnoob just wants to drop everything. Yeah, gravity. It's a tempting force. Alright, we got Pappynoob here as our Yuya player, ranked 1400 in Clan SNF. And up here we got wtfnoob here as our Aeon 1700 ranked player, who was the one who recommended this cast. Kind of. He didn't tell me what cast ID, or, you know, what game ID to actually cast there, but he implied it was something like this, and so this is the one we're watching. So we're in the Requisite, a game of which I haven't actually seen this map before, but it looks a whole lot like the Dark map. I think it's called the Ditch. The only difference I'm seeing on the top of my head is this back mountainy area. In the Ditch is just nothingness, but on here we got ourselves quite a hefty bit of mass. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then another 5. That's 9 mass right in your back area, accessible by land. So that's a little bit different. Anyway, so it looks like wtfnoob was actually talking about grabbing the mass in the middle. You got yourself a nice little chunky bit of rocks over there, and along with the Rex right here. Hey, Depony, good to see you. All right, and yep, so those guys have a nice little bit of reclaim. I really wish I had bothered to try and fix the total reclaim mod that I tried to get inside. And you know what? That is a hefty bit of reclaim everywhere. Looks like points of interest are various rocks around the first expansion areas. In the middle with those, that's probably the Salem class destroyers. Because it's always Salem class destroyers, walkie on land, you know? In this expansion point 2, there's a hefty little bit of mass. And so yeah, apparently the reclaim of cancer nap, says the pony. Now, for those of you who skip past the introduction on this cast, this is a new experimental thing where I'm casting live. So we have comments from people smarter than me. Yeah, why bother to waste time teching? We can just build a bajillion of everything. Let's go ahead and bump up the speed here, and actually let's go ahead and split our focus between both teams at the moment there. So it was a team game, so I didn't think at first to go ahead and try and do like side split to see what everyone's up to, but I think it might be good overall, just to kind of get an idea about both side teams here. Hey YouTube, yes indeed. This will be recorded for posterity, because this is the internet and nothing you do is safe. Very true. I mean, he's such an ass, he even convinced me to join his clan. Ugh. Terrible. Anyway, we have ourselves... You know what? I don't like this, actually. We're gonna go ahead and not do split screen. Kinda wish we got music starting, but it's quiet yet. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, crap. I'm not gonna get any commercials now on YouTube. No sub money for me. Ha! Not that I get any. Alright. Oh, so the Ditch has even more reclaim, huh? So we have the transport going in for a few expansion locations so from team 2, we have ourselves just a nice casual expansion focused build there. Those guys being dropped off, I thought they were going to drop off there, but they couldn't really decide where to go for it. Whereas team 2 here, WTF and Pappynoob, are going straight for the middle to try and get all that reclaim. Also, there's a nice little battle here, a nice little even symmetrical battle, in fact. Look at that, that's so beautiful. You know what, even though it's different units though, it looks like we have, I'm pretty sure that's Titans on this side versus Loyalist on this side. And, okay, I was about to say, it's like the same mass values. And it kind of is, but the Mantis and tanks are different, so there's that at least. I'm not sure what those units are, I'm still getting the hang of it. Anyway, we have a little bit of a cheeky job trying to claim the expansion from Team 2. By the way of Evan, has started claiming that side, along with a little bit of a better air presence in that area. Nightly, perhaps just realizing the wrecks there. And lamenting the absolute loss, because Team 2 has claimed it all at this point. Along with that, well actually, what the fuck noob has decided to take a quick break to build a land factory. Wonder if he's suffering on spending his mass. Not quite. He is power stalling though. Pappynoob is overflowing mass, so essentially he's giving it over to wtfnoob. So very generous teammate there, just pretty much focused entirely on grabbing the reclaim, so he wasn't quite able to spend it, but don't worry, he's spending it now. What is he spending it on? Looks like commander upgrade. Nope, air factory. I'm terrible at guessing these things. And let's see, let's take a look at the eco on the other side there. Evan is rocking the lowest, never mind, I was about to say lowest eco, but not quite. Evan's rocking a nice eco of 35 mass per second. It's fluctuating, it's going all over the place. We can't tell what it is, but that's because of power stall, along with the little bit of high mass bar there. And on the way, oh wait, that was Evan, sorry. I'm terrible at this. At this point, I would restart this stream, cast, maybe, not really. I don't care that much about quality. And meanwhile, Nightly here is trying to fix up his power situation by getting himself up another small grid of power generators and then getting an air factory after that, because why not put an air factory in the middle of power generators? That's practically what they're made for. Anyway, go back to everybody's view here. We got ourselves a little interceptor battle in the middle that looks like it's probably going to go the way... Oh wait, never mind. They're the same team. That's for not shooting. And we got Pappynoob here. Looks like he got dropped by a transport that got killed off somewhere, or maybe it didn't. Maybe it got back home. And he went ahead. Oh, wait. Yeah, Pappynoob was already here. Apparently, Nightly tried to get the little bit of reclaim there. And that might have been Nightly's transport, actually. Man, I'm terrible at this stuff. I'll figure it all out, though. Anyway, Pappynoob here, in order to contest Evan's expansion, has decided to start building up a little spam base up here, and it looks like at the moment, though Evan started his a whole lot sooner, it looks like Pappynoob actually committed to it, and so he has gone to the unit production, but he is not microing very well to deal with the point defense at the moment, or rather the Auroras, but he definitely has the numbers right now. He just needs to take that artillery, shoot down that point defense, and he's got a free run at the moment, because he is currently outproducing with the number of factories he's got. So we'll see how that battle goes in the long run. Those guys do have the middle. Meanwhile, we have a small incursion of Zooies, everybody's favorite floaty naughtiness. And they are going to get picked off, no problem. They just could not float hard enough. Anyway, we have First Navy coming out from wtfnoob here, thinking, I want to shut him down by running those frigates up. But he's going to have an easy win on the Navy, because there's no Navy yet for Team 1. And it looks like, however, there is a plan there from Evan. So he's going to have a fun time getting that set up. We'll see if he's able to do that. I mean, I imagine the commander's going to be fine, because the commander can tank those frigate shots, because when he's under the water, he literally doesn't get shot. So he should be okay. All he has to do to shoo those guys away is to build a torpedo launcher. Although it doesn't help that the frigate just chills out here outside of range, you know? He's like, ah, cool, there's no Navy. Time for a smoke break. Oh wait, never mind. He caught we were watching and decided to go work. Anyway, so we currently have the points of interest being up here and there. It looks like we have ourselves a little bit of Aurora action. Everybody floats today, except Pappynoob. He's really feeling lonely. But that's fine. He has a fight right on his doorstep, so he doesn't have to float. Let's see, so we got more factories coming up there, so this is going to be a contested hotspot. That should eventually go in the way of Pappynoob, considering the fact that, well, it's closer, and that's how those things tend to go for some odd reason. But he's certainly having a tough fight of it. At the moment, they have about even numbers there, with a slight positional bonus, I think, going to Evan, because he's more defensive in this case, because it's Pappynoob who wants to root him out. And we have the engineers trying to grab the reclaim, so definitely, I think, even with all this being poured in, Evan is definitely getting the better end of this engagement. At the moment, we currently have even eco for everybody, or, you know, roughly equal eco per second from everybody, except I say that, and suddenly Team 2 is coming out ahead just a slight bit, but they get the more overall reclaim anyway, helped in great part to the fact that they pretty much got every bit of mass in the middle. Certainly helps. And here we go, the frigates are harassing that Navy. But sadly, the Navy is getting done, although wouldn't it be the best thing? Oh yeah, it's gonna get shut down right before it builds that frigate. Now that is traumatizing. That poor thing, all it needed was a fresh coat of wax and it was gonna go out. But then it got shot down before its prime. But the other frigate's gonna go out, but it's gonna be a tough hold for Evan, who currently has not really much else. Although it will go okay for him if the rest of wtfnoob naval forces don't bother engaging, except that torpedo bombers. And it looks like Evan should probably get this up no problem whatsoever, because we don't have too much air response from Team 2. I say that, but then all of a sudden we have swift winds. That's nice. Let's see, currently 1, 2, along with a few gunships there. So we've got T2 on the part of Pappynoob, along with Janus's coming out from our top player here, Pappynoob. We have ourselves just a little bit of an air, just kind of fly around, really. They're not interested in fighting each other too much. Oh, there we go. We finally had ourselves a confrontation. For a moment there, they're just kind of swinging circles around each other, just kind of showing off. Hang on a second. Ah, that's right. I remember this from the preview of this. Evan just had to leave, unfortunately. And so down he goes. Did we actually have full share on here? Yes, we did. Alright, so we have ourselves Nightly. Oh wait, that's right. Okay, so that's what happened in this match. We had Evan and wtfnoob disconnect from each other. And so, well, they both left. Because at the very least, it's more even that way. So now, this 2v2 has turned into a 1v1. And isn't that fun? Alright. Yeah, good on you, Evan. Alright, so we got ourselves a little bit of Zooey attack here coming in from Nightly. He's got himself up, he's going to meet a couple of Auroras on the way over there with some good micro. Pappynoob should be able to deal with that, but will he be able to micro enough with all that's going on? Time shall tell. At the moment, no. Goodbye, Aurora. Oh man, Zooeys, they're rough. However, Pappynoob does have a victory over on this side. With the air win, the help of some bombers, and also just superior numbers, he has cleaned all this out. So congratulations, this eco now belongs to Pappynoob. All your base are belong to us. Let's see, along with a bit of rating on the top there. So as far as map control is concerned, it looks like Pappynoob might be taking the victory here for just a little bit of time there. So the key thing here is going to be what kind of tech, what kind of spam we're going to be seeing out from Nightly. Let's see here, not too much. He's got himself 2 T2 air factories there. He is still spamming out the, he's still spamming out the T1 Inties though. He could swap over to Swift Winds if he wanted to, but Inties will probably do him fine for the time being. We have a little run by there. If the Spectre spot that, they'll be able to clear out all those mech marines, no problem. They kind of paused as if they were thinking about it, but then decided, nah, it's cool. Those guys must have been running through radar coverage, but his attention must have been elsewhere. These mech marines, however, are going to run to a T1 point defense, and mech marines, you know, you may be surprised to learn, they don't do very well. But these guys are on the hunt. He knows mech marines are in here somewhere, and he wants to find them. Or not, I don't know. I'm reading too much into it. He's going to find those guys now, that the mass extractors are under attack. Unfortunately, those mech marines are on a move order, which would be good if they were facing T1 mass extractors, but they aren't. They're facing T2, so sadly there's not going to be much killing going on. All they're going to do is poke and prod it and damage the metal exterior, but that's not going to stop it producing mass. We have gunships here holding their own against hordes of mech marines. You got to appreciate these little tiny waves going in there. Look at that perfect little formation there. This is so pretty. But eventually we'll switch to something else. Lobos in this case. We have a lot of units on the water here. It looks like a couple of T2 units, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm mistaken. Looks like we had Navy in from Nightly getting picked off. Yeah, they doesn't even have T2 Navy. I'm just reading into it. I just saw the T2 from the Aeon player there. Our Exodus class destroyers. That cruiser is going to get a lot of kills from the interceptors, but he's going to get absolutely destroyed by the gunships. Although he killed off a couple. And so sadly, these Exodus class destroyers, I'm pretty sure they have no anti-air. Aeon, for some weird reason, decides to pour all their anti-air into just a few specific units and not leave anybody else with anti-air. Those guys are just sitting ducks. Ducks with powerful main cannons, but ducks nonetheless. Alright, are we going to see any cruisers out in response? Not at the moment. In fact, the air from Pappynoob has started to grow a little bit lackluster overall. I would say, seems to have stopped producing. Well, he's got Janus's from the looks of it coming out, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, those are Janus's. Looks like he might be building up for some bombing harassment. And oh, I see. His investment has been into T3 there. Alright, so he's about to roll out with T3 air, just pumping out those ASFs, and that's going to help win him the air battle eventually. But for now, his Navy doesn't really care, because his Navy's going to get picked apart by torpedo bombers. And getting air later is sadly not going to spare their lives. Unless, here we go. Now the crews are coming out. Those crews are going to have quite a fight ahead of them. Oh, yes. Give me some... Oh, I was so excited. I thought those interceptors were going to run over the cruisers. There's nothing more satisfying to me than seeing waves of interceptors just get crushed. You know, you got to appreciate the small pleasures in life. Anyway, we have ourselves a horde of bombers acting as point defense between that island. And we have ourselves a horde of Navy span coming in from the bottom right pond of sorts. Because when you're getting overrun with Navy in your main area there, just go ahead and put Navy somewhere else. Why not? On big maps, it doesn't really hurt that bad. Sadly, the cruisers are being a little bit lazy there. Not quite catching up with these guys who are currently not making any attempt to shut down more of these naval factories. I guess he's focusing on the mass at the moment. And that does hurt. If we take a look here, we currently have a small mass advantage for... Oh, never mind. Hang on a second. Whoa! Sudden mass jump in terms of Knightley there. So it looks like Knightley is actually suffering from power issues quite greatly, which is making his power income seem lower than it is. Probably putting that into a T3 power generator. Yep, there it is, right there. After that, his mass income should look a lot better. So actually it looks like Knightley here is being the much better in terms of eco, suddenly jumping up extremely high. And I have this in terms of mass income overall, so this is not counting reclaim, I think. Except I say that. What's going on here? Weird. We have mass all over the place for Knightley here. But it looks like it's around 400. So yeah, it's definitely an income bonus to that. And finally, these Vespers here are deciding to shoot down these naval factories a little bit. We have ourselves attack missile launchers of all things. Just trying to getting shut down by those gunships there, but those cruisers finally getting some targets. Alright, anyway, what's going on the rest of the map? We have continual pressure in the top there. He's swapped over from Mech Marines to Lobos, and it seems to be working wonders. We have a T2 Land Factory HQ out here from Knightley, which is currently not doing much of anything at all. He's got a couple blazes, which have the most adorable little pew-pew sound. I was curious what that was. That thing that just had the most, just like, enjoyable little laser sound. Just pew, 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 pew. It was great. Anyway, speaking of Corsair bombing there, these guys are having a, not Corsairs, Janus's. I always say like the Cybern one. Anyway, these guys are having a fun time with the backmass there. Not really meeting any pressure from the Air Force, who's currently just hanging out right here, trying to engage the ASFs, maybe thinking about it, but it looks like these guys are low on fuel. Yes, indeed. Out of those 157 altogether, about half of those, 70, are completely out of fuel. That's not going to help them out, but with sheer numbers, they will absolutely barrel through these ASFs. So he's going to want to get these ASFs out of there and maybe build up a slightly larger force first. Because as good as quality is, it's not helpful when you have about 10 times your number. Especially when you're over anti-air. So these guys here are going to get a lot of kills on them with those ASFs, but they are going to get cleared off if they don't run away. And down they go. So in case you're wondering if 150 interceptors could beat about 8 ASFs, now we have our answer. Sometimes spam wins. In fact, a lot of times spam wins. You just need enough spam. Anyway, we have ourselves more harassment coming in from the bottom there. A little bit of floaty naughtiness going on to play. It's quite fun to see both Aeon and like UEF forces on the same player there. He's managing the benefits of his units quite well. I would say maybe getting some Auroras out, maybe trying to help assist the Navy in crushing these bottom forces there, because Pappynoob must know about this by now. Actually, funny enough, no. He doesn't have any of the naval units under radar or sonar, and he hasn't scouted out these naval factories at all. So never mind, he doesn't know he has to kill it. Yet. Hopefully that will be changing. Anyway, the Lobos are having a great time there, starting to shut down Knightley there. The mass has actually still been going up for Knightley, but we actually haven't had much mass increase from Pappynoob. I think since I was talking, it went up by 20. Never mind. As I say this, it goes up by another little bit there. So we have damage going in from those fellows across the board time and time again. And Pappynoob is slowly catching up, doing a lot of damage on mass extractors to Nightly, taking out a lot of that back mass, shutting down this little base a little bit, but still. Ooh, we have attack missiles coming in. Apparently the gunship's got fended off and he's still building up that, so we're about to see the mass income level out a lot. These are T3 mass extractors getting shut down. That hurts to watch. I think you'll need one more missile though. No, 2 does the trick. Oh, that hurts. Oh, and another one. We're gonna see another one. Oh, that hurts. But it's so satisfying. And we have leveled out the mass field now. For the most part. Pappynoob is still going down there. This is just all over the place. Are you power stalling? What's going on here? Why is this jumping? This should be mass income. Oh, I don't like it. Anyway. That's fine. It's a little bit jumpy on the mass count. But that is definitely the mass income bar, not including reclaim. So those totals are not reclaim related. They shouldn't be. Maybe it is. Not sure. Anyway, we have ourselves more missiles coming in. Can't really have too much to target anymore though. Unless they want to start shooting over on this side. He really needs to get some tactical missile defense out there. But it looks like he's decided to put this into a strategic missile launcher there. If we take a look at Nightly's eco, definitely enough power to support that, and definitely enough mass. He's not really assisting it with too much though. Considering the fact that a strategic missile launcher has 10,080 build capacity all by itself, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 45 build capacity on top of that. So, not that much in the grand scheme of things, but I suppose every second counts when you're trying to get yourself up a nuke. Now, the question is, has Pappynoob spotted this? By the way, holy Corsair sniping. Oh, but they're going to get taken down by just hordes of T1 anti-air. The one place they could have bombed. They decided to pick the one that had all the anti-air. Ouch. Anyway, has he seen this? He has not actually scouted this base for quite a while, so he does not know that a strategic missile launcher is incoming. And the question is gamer sense tingling? Is he building one anyway? We've got hordes of engineers, just probably on a repeat build order still to this day. Still helping build out air. We've got a quantum reactor on the way, but nothing else. Ooh, that nuke is going to hurt when it gets up. And yep, nothing much over here either. So, Pappynoob is definitely going to be receiving some damage when that strategic missile launcher comes in. If he targets down the main base, that'd be awesome. Or he might go for the generation down here, the T3 air, and shut that down. Or, holy crap, we have a Torrent-class missile ship. Oh man, those are fun to watch, right? Alright, but these guys are absolutely steamrolling through the Navy, so Pappynoob is definitely going to be controlling the waters here pretty quick. That's nice to see. The torpedo bombers are coming in to try and shut it down. There actually is not much anti-air in the cards, and where's the T3 air from Pappynoob? To this day, still not committing much into T3 air. Must be power stalling. No, he's not. Huh. I mean, he's got all these engineers here, but he's not... Wait, why can't I see what you're building? Are those ASFs or is that something else? It looks like strap bombers, actually. No, T3 gunships. So he's building T3 gunships and very lightly building T3 air. That's our problem there. All these engineers, just go ahead and put them right over there. But sadly he's not. And he is spending quite a bit of mass. Probably something up here with the commander. Looks like he's going a lot of point defense. Looks like he's maybe worried about drops or teleports. Well, my friend, I'm sorry. That's not your issue though. Your issue is actually, let's go ahead and just slow this down a little bit. My game's having some small problem keeping up there. You can see just how stuttery things are getting. And he still has not scouted the main base. Oh man, that hurts to watch. I know everything always seems so much easier when you are, you know, casting, not really playing it yourself. But let me tell you, that just hurts to see that thing been up for so very long. So that thing's gonna get a free nuke anywhere in the map that he wants. Holy crap, look at that thing go with those missiles. I never actually controlled the missile ship myself, so I don't really know much about it off the top of my head, and I haven't really played against one either. This thing has 800 damage on each missile, a DPS of 40, and it fires it in volleys 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And boy, does it fire fast. Oh, that's fun. Alright. Oh, that is a sight to see. Because who doesn't love missile spam? Alright, anyway, we have ourselves packs of units going in. It looks like Knightley here is just getting crushed by the spam, though. He's done very little in terms of building any landings himself, and so he's just getting wiped out by every wave. So, I mean, if we're judging this in terms of spam versus tech, we've seen every single time, spam seems to win. Although we have a nice little attack in the middle here. Those Zooies managed to get right in the middle of the island and they're starting to clear things out, but still, it's one small victory. It's getting targeted by a torrent, that's probably not going to hit. But they tried anyway. Getting some water in me. Because water's nice, but seriously. Oh man, Knightley. This really, especially with all this mass too. Now if we take a look and see here, let's just round this to 30,000 mass here. Alright? And let's say that he's building T1 tanks here. Give me a number here. Where's the land factory? I need a land factory somewhere, buddy. You must have a land factory somewhere. Here we go. Alright, so let's say he wants to build himself just Thams. T1 tanks here. Let's go ahead and just bring up my calculator here real quick. Alright, so let's say that we'll round that up, 30,000 mass. 30, 1, 2, 3, and divide that by 54. You could have, actually, wow, that doesn't go very far. You think about it, but anyway, that would be about 555 tanks. And let me tell you, in a situation like this, when you're getting creamed by just simply T1 artillery, 555 tanks, now that would go quite a ways. So I mean, definitely. So he's pretty much pouring everything into the strategic missile launcher, but not really, because he's not actually spending all his mass. But either way, judgments from an observer. This missile is going to get to do, this nuke, I should say, is going to get to do damage. But it probably would not win the game, because you still have all this land to contend with, and he still doesn't have any defenses. He's getting harassed by missiles that he doesn't have tactical missile defense for. So these shields only last so long. Let's see there. And he's putting up with the Thota. That's going to be a nice mass dump there. But still, probably a whole ton of spam would do him so much better in defense, funny enough. Anyway, so hopefully, there we go. So he's decided to target the air production complex. You know, at the rate that Pappynoob ran away, he might have actually been able to snipe the commander if he just targeted like here. Oh well. So he's going to land right in the middle to try and grab both air factories. And it is a roaring success. Let's see if losing those power generators is an acronym. Not really. See, the fun, I guess it's a fun little bonus there. If you both lose your T3 air batteries and you lose your T3 energy, it kind of evens out in terms of your requirements. So, not so bad. Anyway, he's apparently gotten T1 Navy up out here, shut down that torrent somewhere. Right? There's probably a torrent wreck here somewhere, or it ran away. Nope, there's a dead torrent somewhere, and oh, there it is. Probably. With 2,000 mass. Whoo, that's good. And sadly, that spam, as effective as it is, as soon as Thota goes up, it's going to run into some problems, but it still has to actually get up. Those guys wouldn't have such a bad time if they simply decided to target this main base here. He's got another nuke coming up already. Let me tell you, if these guys all just started pouring their power into shutting down maybe some power generators, it wouldn't take long to crumple him. It would only take actually one T3 power gen. It would only take the loss of one T3 power generator to make him energy stall. And he doesn't have any energy storage, so it wouldn't last very long at all. But we'll see, he's finally starting to go for some T1 spam. Excellent job. We'll see if it helps. He's got a long ways to go to start contending with that. And we have forces coming in from the bottom as well. Alright, as long as Pappynoob here is teching up behind all this, he should have no problem. Let's see here, so what do you have going on behind this? We have the HQ untouched, actually. I was gonna say, I thought he only had the T3 HQ up here, and I was about to be like, oh, he built two T3 HQs, but no, actually, because he got the base from his teammates, so it's fine. Anyway, rebuilding his power just all over the place, which actually might not be such a bad idea, because if you're facing nukes, what better way to defend yourself a nuke than just simply put things everywhere? Because you can't nuke everything. Just make everything an unviable target. So we got Commander going to T3. Maybe he'll get nuke defense, maybe not. Honestly, it's probably not that big of a deal, with just how spread apart he is. Let's see, we have the Navy being pushed back. I mean, to some extent, yet again, holy crap, look at how many shots that thing fires, and they all missed. Kind of. Anyway, We have ourselves some air defenses to help try push back that spam, because there's no anti-air in the mix there, and honestly, there doesn't really need to be. That Yathota's probably almost up. Almost. Let's see what his mass income's like at the moment, or mass bank. Alright, so that Yathota has helped spend it all. In fact, how much does the Yathota cost? The Yathota cost 26,000 mass, so pretty much with their full mass bank. Even if they had no mass income at that point, they could have very nearly built a Yathota in one go. That's pretty impressive. Alright, so cool. That Yathota going up, no big deal with all that support. But really all it's going to be able to do is help defend one lane of sorts. And there are currently two forces to deal with, although one force down here actually got cleaned up by a mix of bombers and those guys, or they moved around. The force assault in the bottom must have moved over to the Navy. And Knightley has come out with the very first experimental of the game. You have ourselves plenty of torpedo bombers there, so Pappynoob here really needs to commit more cruisers into these forces. You can see that kind of happening. We got 3 cruisers out now. I would not be surprised if that nuke was going to be targeting this base. Yes, it is. We can see ourselves that friendly little nuke indicator there. And wouldn't you know it, T3 got up just in time, so Pappynoob can just walk away calmly without stressing at all. Because wouldn't that suck, being like 80% of the way done with your upgrade, having that nuke hub and then being like, I guess I gotta run to not die. The loss. We have another T3 mass extractor, so Pappynoob here is pretty much dismantling Knightley. And we can see here the power of, especially on a giant map like this, that spam plays. Because you can just be everywhere, harassing everything. And honestly, if you lose stuff, no big deal, because it's not like your opponent's going to be able to build up these mass extractors quickly. Make up for it, especially because all of the eco from Knightley was in those T3 mass extractors all over the place, and now they're getting shut down because there aren't many defenses. We have Yathota on the water shooting down this Omen class battleship, so that's going to be fun. It might take out another battleship as well. In a pure Yathota versus battleship fight, I wonder who wins. Let's see. I mean, I would imagine the Yathota, because it does a lot of damage, but, I mean, the battleship can outrange it. Let's see, Yathota does a lot of damage per second if we round up both of its main, all of its main weapons there. It might do about, let's see, 35,000, or 3,500 damage a second. Whereas the cruiser here, or the battleship, does significantly less. Although that Oblivion cannon, I think it fires 3 shots at once. That's not much. I mean, that's like 470 a second, but then it can outrange it. He just needs to keep that battleship in range of that Yathota to start hammering it down. But currently he's just kind of running away, but maybe thinking about it. Alright, so we have ourselves huge land push, and yes, indeed, this is the problem. That Yathota can do a lot of damage, but only in one area. And it can be kited. So we'll see how much damage, we'll see how far it can get before its health gets too critically low. As long as these battleships keep their distance and just wail upon that Yathota, it's probably going to go down before it even gets out of this island. The Yathota would probably be far better served trying to defend against the land. Like, put that Yathota right here, and just absolutely annihilate all the T1 spam. Get yourself some veterancy. It'd be beautiful. Like, if we take a look here. Oh, that's right, I do have the cost spending here. Let's go ahead and see. These guys are worth 9,000 mass. At this point, that would get that Sky a veterancy for sure. But instead, that Yathota is just going to run aimlessly at the Navy and just get picked apart by those Oblivion cannons. Poor thing. Anyway, let's see here. We have yet more Lobos just running in the stream there. He really needs some point defense out here. Does he? Let's see. Does Knightley have point defense? Just pretty much committing everything into nuke launchers here, which have done 46,000 points of damage. 46,000 mass points of damage, I have to say. Which, actually, hang on a second, I'm kind of curious as well. It's going to be like science time as well. Let's go ahead and see here. I am looking at the... You can just enjoy the battle. I am currently looking at the... Wow, I'm getting terrible rating right now. Sorry about that, in terms of speed. Anyway, I'm kind of curious here. The... What is this? This is the Seraphim. Yeah. The Seraphim nuke launcher here, I'm just looking up to see how much it costs to build a nuke launcher out of that guy. So the strategic missile launcher, in order to build one, it costs 12,000 mass in order to build it, and 15,000 mass to build the nuke launcher itself. So that has been 15,000 plus 24,000, that's 39,000 mass altogether put into this nuke launcher, and did 46,000 mass of damage. So right now it's kind of paid for itself about 7k mass, but with the amount of damage that Pappynoob has done over the course of this game by shutting down all of the eco, I think it's been better overall. And we can see reflected here that he's currently made about 32k mass more. And the question is that Ythota managed to get through? It has. It managed to barrel its way through the Navy there, and there's very little on the ground to support it. There we go, but we have ourselves the gunships there, which even if he completely loses those, gets trashed by the air, he'll kill the Ythota, and it'll get its job done regardless. Oh, but that Ythota's not going to last very long at all, especially with the battleships still firing upon it. And the air support is nowhere to be seen. These guys responded way too late. If you got an experimental running on the other side, even I know at this point that you want your air cover there, along with it. So yeah, even if there's enough air to actually kill off these gunships there, but they'll probably be able to do the job now. Just because it took so long for the air to get there. And this poor thing. Obvious alien is obvious, yes indeed. It's hard to hide a Ythota. And is it gonna go kablooey? Oh no, actually, it managed to survive. Ah, just barely with 1,500 health or so. So forget what I said. The air cover was enough. But the assault by the T1 spam, as prone as it is to dying quickly, might actually be able to kill it off the rest of the way, but nah. They thought it was going to walk away. So he's probably going to try building up another batch of it, or maybe just use the commander to overcharge it to death at this point. So that Ythota is going to get a bit more damage done, but at the end it's going to be a machination on his doorstep. So Pappynoob will probably take the better end of that engagement. We have ourselves more battleships there with, it looks like no anti-air. Just going to go ahead and get pushed apart by torpedo bombers and T1 bombers. We have the cruisers taking some torpedo fire from the looks of it, but they have enough to be able to polish those guys off.
Strategic launch detected.
Another nuke. Keep an eye out for the strat bombers. Oh, you got it. I wasn't even noticing the strat bombers, so thanks for letting me, give me a heads up there, Evan. Uh-oh. Pappynoob here is suddenly, Pappynoob here is standing right in the nuke firing range. Oh. Hang on a second. Oh my goodness, and the strat bombers coming in at the same time. This might be coming to be the end of the match here. We have Pappynoob here. Oh wait, no, he's got strat missile defense. Never mind. That thing's been up for a while. So maybe poor scouting from Knightley, who maybe thought it wasn't built yet. But either way, will the strat bombers get it done anyway? Alright, we broke through the shields. Suddenly Pappynoob is going to be less concerned about point defense and more concerned about anti-air. Oh no, they got picked apart. Hang on, I've got a cough coming on. I turned off my mic just in time to spare you from the suffering. At some point in that nuke battle, the Ythota got polished off, and that is 21,000 mass to be scooped up by Pappynoob whenever Pappynoob feels so inclined. Anyway, do we have more strat bombers coming in from Knightley? That is a question. I'm not seeing any. So, let's see. Oh yeah, that's absolutely correct there. The shield came out just in time to pretty much block all the shots, but with only 4 strat bombers, I'm not sure it would have done the damage. Actually, in a second, I always forget how much damage strat bombs actually do. Let's go ahead and take a look at the math here real quick. Okay, where's the air factory? There it is. Let's see, T3 strategic bombers, 3,200 damage there. So 4 of them would have done, you know, about 13,000 damage. Maybe just not enough. Unless there are more than 4. There might have been more than 4 and I wasn't paying attention. Okay, so more got shot down on the way. I was not paying too much attention to those strat bombers, but yes. Evan, thanks for pointing that out to me. It really is amazing sometimes how in the grand scale of everything happening around the map, how much seconds can matter to every single attack. It's amazing how many attacks where if you just wait a little bit too long, it can be completely shut down, whereas if you got it at a good time, it can do just phenomenally exponential more damage. Looks like the anti-air gunships are living up to the name there. And Knightley accepting the loss there, realizing that pretty much everything's shut down. He now has pretty much lost all air-to-ground ability to target the Navy, and which is currently just smashing apart his base. Not really targeting any key targets, just kind of firing randomly, but still effective enough. And Knightley, running out of tricks, has succumbed to Pappynoob. But that was a nice game overall. I thought that was pretty fun. It really taught us just how, especially on a map like this, spam indeed takes the cake. Because you go for tech, but tech can't be everywhere. Spam? Oh, spam can be everywhere. In fact, I didn't really notice that he had himself more spam bases coming up there, just Lobos, all day long. He was doing spam on the bottom. He was just tearing it apart. And Knightley decided to go for very small, mass-intensive things. Oh yeah, baby. The 1-point defense with 18 kills. Must have been shooting some good stuff there. I was very proud of it. I wonder what the range on that guy is. I'm not quite sure what it would have been shooting down. Probably just Lobos. But still, I like it. And that's a beta tester right there. Anyway, so yeah, that was a fun match. Definitely, if you guys are wondering, you know, should I go spam? You should probably go spam. And I'll keep that in mind when I play maps. Because spam is about all I can manage to do. Anyway, so, hope you enjoyed that cast. I've been your host, Alex Lenar, and I am signing off. Hope to see you again next time.